The actual electronic structure is always the average of all of those shown in the resonance forms. So we would draw a back and forth arrow. These brackets are here not because they're resonance forms, but because it has a charge. Remember, Lewis structures with a charge need a bracket. But they do always have a back and forth arrow between all the forms. So they found out that we know that NO has a bond length of 140 and that N double bond O has a bond length of 121. So if we were to take this structure and put it in the instruments, that's what we should get. But what we actually got was a number that was in between the two. I'm just going to average it and say about 130. So what we actually got was that each of the bonds were 130, not 140 and 121. So that told us the resonance structures are going on when the singles and the double bonds, when the lengths of them don't match with what we know that they will be. The look of something that has a resonance structure is something where you can put a double bond going to like another atom. So I can move this double bond over to here and it doesn't change anything. It's like saying I've got options for where to put that double bond. I could put it going to the left oxygen or I could put it going to the right oxygen. That's the kind of situation where you're going to be looking for and expecting resonance. When you get into organic chemistry, resonance even has a larger picture than this. It explains stability. It explains why some molecules will do reactions really readily and others are extremely resistant to doing reactions. And it all comes down to resonance. Generally speaking, what's the bond length of the bonds? Single bond, double bond? Well, we can also use a 1 and a 2 instead of these bigger numbers. So sometimes you'll see it this way with a 1 or a 2. And then since there are a total of 2 bonds, the average bond length is 1 plus 2 divided by 2, which is 3 halves. So it's the same thing as saying each of those bonds, the length of this is 1.5 the length of a normal bond. So sometimes they ask it in terms of this. This is called bond order. We'll call that bond order. And then sometimes it'll just ask about length. And rarely will you be asked to guess an exact length. More commonly, you'll be asked to just give and draw the different possibilities for the Lewis structures of things that are in resonance.